Hi, I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist on the air since 1990. This is, yes, the one, the only, the unique and inimitable Diana Montford show, and my guest is the one and only, the unique and inimitable Shane. Well-known singer, musician, composer, and she's going to tell us all about the fascinating journey that has been her life so far and where she's going in the future. And just, Shane has a really interesting story, and a story you won't hear anywhere else, because everyone has a unique life, but some have a more unique life. My guest is the wonderful Shane.
Thank you, Diana. It's really a pleasure to be back here with you, and it's really exciting to be in your company.
Well, thank you. You can see Shane, by the way, on YouTube. Just punch in Diana Montford YouTube, or I would imagine Shane YouTube.
Shane with Diana Montford, Montford, Diana Montford with Shane.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was born and raised in Haddon Heights, New Jersey. I was born Catholic. It's in an all Italian family.
Where in Italy is your family from?
Well, my great grandparents were from like Sicily and Naples.
I know so many people who are like half Sicily, half Napoli. It's
Napolitan,
yes,
and Sicilian, and I won't go there. But I was Mary Ann Branca. That's my Christian name that I was baptized.
That's my paternal grandmother's name, Marianne.
Oh, it's a good name. I was named Mary for my one grandmother, and Ann for my other grandmother. So
cool.
Mary Ann, the one name, and I could never separate. It had to be Mary Ann, all one name.
Well, you know, years ago they would have called you Mame.
Oh no,
that's what Mame is. Well, it's Mary, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or Mariucci, Maria. Yeah.
Well, no, my father's family was Scottish and Irish.
Oh.
My mother's family's from Spain.
Wow.
My maternal, why are we talking about this? My maternal grandmother's name was Concepcion. Concheta.
Yeah. That's what makes you exciting. See, you have all this.
Yes, genes fighting them, yeah.
And then you'll be a painter or something.
Yes. Enough about my gene pool, let's talk about yours.
So at the age of 4, I decided that I wanted to play piano, and I don't know why.
So you stood in the living room and played piano?
I didn't even know what a piano was, but I knew I wanted a piano. At least that's what my parents were telling me.
Interesting.
And I said to my mom and dad, it was Christmas time, and I said, I don't want anything from Santa Claus, I just want a piano. I must have watched somebody on TV with a piano.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
Obviously, that's where the piano thing came from.
Yeah, I knew how to play piano in my head before I got it. See? Very perceptive. And so the family, because we have a big family on both sides, I was the firstborn. You do the math. They all were, get her the piano, give her the piano. And so they all chipped in and helped. And I got a piano at Christmas time.
Nice.
And then my mother couldn't get me to stop playing. So I just kept playing piano. I loved playing piano.
Unlike most kids. Now you practice that thing. Do you know how much that cost me? You sit there and practice that.
I had classical lessons on the piano, so I was doing my Beethoven, Chopin, and Bach, and I was also doing music by ear on songs that I was hearing on the radio.
That's great.
And my mom, not my dad, my mom liked to hit the ceiling. My dad was like, let her go. She's a good kid. So he would encourage me with that. My mom was more fundamental, more conservative.
Well, your mother was
strict.
And also a somewhat difficult personality, wasn't she?
She was and thus I would play piano more, and that was my therapy. That was like my hug. That was my love, my outlet.
Was she withholding in some ways?
Yes, she wasn't very huggy, but she would feed you. She would buy things for you. At Easter time, Christmas time, you would have the best, but then you'd never hear the end of what it took for her to get all this, you know. And all, I think,
Did she have a career?
yeah, she worked at RCA with my dad in Morristown. She was one of the top executive secretaries, and my dad was working on missile projects. And
the reason I'm shocked is that my stepmother became a nun, a Carmelite nun in Morristown, New Jersey.
right.
A couple of Catholic gals, what can I tell you?
And here we are, bookends.
Yes.
When you can get through that, you can get through anything.
Right.
You never grow up because you just have this childhood that you missed, and things work out.
Yeah.
Things have a way of working out.
Yeah.
You found your way to be creative. You found your way early in life to mount any obstacles, and you never forgot that.
Well, everyone does, or they don't survive. You know?
True. Many, not most. I wish it was more people that could think outside of the box.
Right.
I think that's what we need. And they don't have to be so much creative, but just not be so lackadaisical.
Was your mother Neapolitan, of Neapolitan descent or Sicilian descent?
It was both. And she wanted everything her way. She's very strict. My grandmother was the one that, her mom was, you could do no wrong, I could do no wrong. And but it was very strange because she was more strict than her mom, and she was so much younger.
Do you think it's because she was in a man's world, in the business world? And, you know, I mean, you know what music has done to you, politics to me. They sort of take you apart and remake you as a kind of mini-man, pseudo-man, something, you know?
You hit on a big nerve that started my whole career in music. Something happened to my mom while she was working at that job that she really loved. And my dad was working in the same company. And I'll never forget that because they were very, very intelligent.
Right.
And
what happened to your mother?
my mom couldn't work at that job anymore once the missile projects were going, because RCA was Radio Corporation of America. It was a communications, it was more TV and radio and communications, and America was proud of
why couldn't your mother work there? They wouldn't let her?
Right, because there were things that were done in corporate that were different at the back end of Morristown with the missile projects and my dad, and it was 5 of them, a team of them, and he would come home from work and I was able to pick up on the conversations that were going on. He was the head shop steward in the union, and there were different things that were going on in that job that affected our country, you know, with missiles and stuff like that. And there were a lot of times my dad even changed and he couldn't talk, but he would come home and make sure when he came home he'd say, "Marianne, always remember there's just one God and one world, and people are people no matter where you go." And I always remembered that. And my mom, she was home a lot and just really upset a lot, and I didn't know really what was going on as a child.
What was upsetting you?
She wasn't happy. She couldn't talk about what was going on with my dad at work with his job.
Because it was privileged, classified
Right,
information.
it was top secret. There were different things that were going on, and I was picking up on it. Like, I don't know if I should discuss that.
It could still be classified, for real.
It could be. But I remember a lot of things, and I remember a lot of government vehicles being in front of my dad's house, and I remember him working on the radar, which was a tracking device, and he kept saying, if this gets in the wrong hands, we're not going to be like heading communications or be the best in, you know, music and TV and mass media. This can be really a bad thing. And they designed actually the covering of that first radar, and it was a golf ball, in the shape of a golf ball, because they were all golfers.
Well, now, you won a contest when you were about 14, didn't you?
Yes, thank you for getting me. So anyway,
Otherwise, the FBI will charge in and we're off.
they all know. We all know each other by now. They're like, "Oh my God, it's her." But and I'm still. It's just me. I could care, and I think everybody's just sick of all the sickness in the world worldwide. So we
You
all
won a
have to-
contest when you were 14.
14. It was right, national, and I cut a record with Capitol Records. It was a glass record.
What's a glass record?
That's the way that they pressed them. It was glass. It was on glass. And then I had a screen test with Columbia Pictures. And
How'd that go? Did you like it?
I liked it. I met a lot of people, and I had a Juilliard scholarship for music.
Wow. Because you won the contest.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool.
My mom wouldn't allow me to go to New York to go to school. So,
which is not that far away from New Jersey.
Well, she was panicking, and I, as I got older, I think I kind of realized, but at the same time, I don't know. I still don't get it.
So you didn't go?
Overprotective, I didn't go. So they gave my parents it was a monetary thing. They just gave the money to continue my lessons, which I did. And I studied with Mr. Petrillo, who was the head of the Academy of Music in Philadelphia.
Good. That's not bad.
In the music department, and Mr. Marquez, Ramondo Marquez. He's
Sounds like a tango
Cuban.
dancer. Yeah.
Cuban. He would hit you in the back if you played the wrong note.
They couldn't do that now. They'd be in jail.
I know. I was just used to. I had Catholic school nuns with the rulers.
Yeah, what? I had one who used to smack me around and cut my hair in public.
Can't do anything. They'll call your parents, and then you get it at home.
No, my mother didn't like nuns.
Oh.
So my father, cleverly, his second wife. My mother was his first wife. She's not a nun. His second wife became a nun. There's drama there. Anyway,
I know, that's a great story.
Well, never mind. We're not going there.
You got to call me back. We got to come and interview you.
Let's leave my mother in peace. Yes.
So,
and her many friends. Anyway.
I continued
of all
my
genders,
music.
yes.
Right.
But anyway, Mommy, I love you. You sexy
Mom
girl.
and Dad.
Yes.
Here I am.
Mother, Daddy. Okay. So now, you were all set to become a rock star, and then you didn't. What happened?
Well, I was going to continue my music, and I thought that I would just write songs and also do classical music and find my niche. Apparently, there wasn't really a market for a classical pianist, and so I was deciding what am I going to do, because I wasn't writing any tunes for the radio, you know. I'm a songwriter that writes like ballads and things like that, and I really didn't have any support, and I didn't know the know-how, so I left after high school. I got into a government job in transportation.
Good for you.
I think that would be the furthest to go to government, but it was a good paying job. I learned a lot. I became an industrial relations specialist at SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority in Philadelphia. I was executive secretary, worked my way up. I was in projects management. I was a projects management analyst. I became a planning analyst.
Did your mother feel competition with you because you're a contemporary woman, could do things that were close to her in her time?
She always wished, I think, that she could do what I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she would berate me because it's like, what are you, crazy? Because of her paranoia. Always scared of everything, and like, you're crazy, what are you doing, you know? But at the same time, everyone in the family was saying how she would boast about me, but she wouldn't talk like that to me. She was like, what are you, crazy? What are you, you know? So I just always would just listen to the inner voice within me. And I had the other supports in my life, like my dad and my grandma. My dad would be like, are you happy? That's all that matters. Are you doing the right thing?
Very good, good. And was your grandmother your mother's mother or your father's mother?
My grandmom that was close by in Jersey, she was my mom's mom.
Which is interesting that two women so closely related could be so different.
Yes. Yeah, well, she never lived in the house when all that craziness was going on.
So she didn't see it.
No, my mom never talked about it, and I'm realizing that now as I'm talking to you. Okay, you're my doctor now. It's how therapy works. You just talk, and things come out. After working in the government job for a while, I just had this urge to want to do my music. I was like,
Sure.
I don't want to go through life and always say, I could have done this. I wonder what would have happened if I did.
Exactly.
So I took a break, and I gave up a job like that to go into music.
Which must have pleased your mother no end. Which
That's
must
a
have
whole
made her
other
so
chapter.
proud, yes.
That was you see, you must have been in my house. She